Let's look at Chapter 7, Lesson 2, Extension. We need to try these problems using our pattern blocks if you need help. If r equals 5, then what is y? Well, I know that r is half of y, so 5 plus 5 is 10. If y is 32, then what is r? I need to figure out what half of 32 would be because r is just half of y. And I know that 15 plus 15 is 30, so I know that 16 plus 16 would be 32, but I just want half, so just 1/16. If y is 5, then what's r? So I need to know what's half of 5, and I know that 2.5 or 2.5 is going to be half of 5. If y is 6, what's r? So I want to know what half of 6 is, and that's 3. If g is 4.5, what's b? And I know that g is going to be just one triangle, so I need to figure out what 4.5 plus 4.5 equals. And I know that half plus a half is 1, so I'm going to carry that 1 up and cross those out. And 1 plus 4 is going to be 9. If g is 5, and then what's r? So I know that r has 3 triangles. So I need 5 plus 5 plus 5. And I know that 5 plus 5 plus 5 is going to be 15. Now, if r is 1, then what's g with 2 g's? So I need to divide it up so I have triangles. And I know that it's 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. And I know that I only need 2 1/3s. So I know that 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3. If y is 2, then what's g? So I can think about that as looking up here to number 7, that each piece would be 1/3 if it was 1, and now I have a whole y, so I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, and then I do it again on the bottom, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. That together would be 6/3, and I know that 3 goes into 6 twice, so that's how I got that each piece would be 1/3. Then what is g? Just 1/3. Let's look at number 9. I've already cut it up into triangles because we need to have triangles to find g. The whole thing is going to be worth 3. Now if I look at this, I know that the top half is going to be 1.5, and I know that the bottom half is going to be 1.5, because I know that if I divide 3 in half, I have 1.5 plus 1.5 to equal 3. Now I need to figure out how much each of these pieces would be if it's 1.5 total for the top. And I know that I can divide that in evenly to be half plus half plus half. And then the same thing will be on the bottom. So each piece is going to be a half. If I have 5 halves, how much do I have altogether? Well, I know that half of y would be 1.5, plus another half would be 2, plus another half would be 2.5. Number 10, if b is 1.5, then what is y? I know that b is 2 triangles, so if b is 1.5, what would y be? So I know that each of these would be 2 triangles, so 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. So I have 3 total with the 1s, and a half plus a half plus a half. That would create another 1, which means I have 4.5.